Let's take some audience questions, good ones this week. First is from Monique, who said, hey, when will you get an electric car? Okay, so there's a few different aspects to this. Number one, I'm hugely supportive of getting off of fossil fuels. I've made it clear every time we talk about Tesla. I disclose that I have been a shareholder of Tesla for a while because I think that, I believe in the company. Why else would I have bought shares of the company? I have driven hybrids before in the earlier days of hybrids. Like I think it was 9 years ago, so like 3 leases ago, I had a hybrid car. In any case, I don't know when I'm going to have an electric car. My current lease is up in like 9 months. There's already so many electric car options. Now, whether they're electric plug-in vehicles versus hybrids or whatever, I'm going to assume that Monique is talking about a 100% electric car. I don't know if in 9 months I would get an electric car. I guess I'd have to check out what's available, the cost, how far you can drive on one charge, how prevalent the charging stations are, although they're becoming more and more prevalent. I'm seeing them around in more and more places.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think I would like to have an electric car probably within the next 5 years.
To the best of my knowledge, most of these cars that are entirely electric can only go for maybe 40 miles at a time.
Is that
So
right?
it would
See,
have to get to a point where,
wow.
you could go longer distances, you can go on road trips and everything else, and it's not an inconvenience to have one.
I thought that there were some that could go 200 miles
Okay.
on a charge, although maybe that's just what like the next generation Tesla will be able to do, which I don't see myself getting anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, maybe technology is moving at a fast enough rate where what I just said there was old news at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would certainly consider getting a hybrid, certainly if all other factors were the same, if it was just about the same when it comes to cost.
Yeah, the thing about the hybrids is, I don't know if you've done some of the math on them. Like I got this hybrid years ago because I thought it was really cool, but then afterwards I found out that I probably paid something like $2,500 premium. I mean, it was a lease, but still there was an extra $2,500 of cost figured into my lease payments. And that based on the number of miles that I was limited to by the lease, which is like 12,000, that $2,500 would not have been made up for in fuel savings. So that financially, I might have made like a legitimately bad decision by doing it. I didn't care
Right.
enough to run the numbers at the time.
It seems like people are all about saving the world unless it comes at a higher price. And I'm guilty of this too. I think that's just kind of human nature.
Yeah.
But hopefully these will become popular to a point where it's just as affordable.
With the early hybrids, though, there was an issue with the disposal of the battery, where not only were you paying more and it was only a marginal improvement in gas mileage that might not even be made up, at a certain point, I don't know if it was if they had a 6, 8, or 10-year life at the time, the hybrid batteries had to be disposed of, and those were quite corrosive, not to mention the fossil fuel cost to make the battery in the first place. So there was actually a case made, and again, you read all these different things, and this is not such a central issue to my life that I can speak completely authoritatively on it, but I read some articles that claimed that if you consider the production of and disposal of the battery, you're way outdoing the benefit of an extra 15 or 20% gas mileage or whatever it was.
What's really unfortunate is that Trump is rolling back some of the Obama era regulations when it comes to fuel efficiency standards that he had mapped out for the next 10, 20 years. So if there's going to be a trend towards more fuel efficient cars, it's going to have to come entirely from the consumers themselves and not any government mandates.
Yeah, and that is both sad and low energy, sadly. So anyway, I don't know, am I going to get an electric car in 9 months for my next car? Probably not, but I'm going to look into it. I'm definitely going to look into it starting in about 6 months. I will start the research process, and I will absolutely keep you posted.